Now to a CNN exclusive, the Department of Justice may be taking steps to indict music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
Two sources close to the investigation tell us that a federal grand jury may soon hear from Diddy's accusers. Since November, Combs has been named in 8 civil lawsuits, 7 of them directly accusing him of sexual assault.
Y'all, it looks like the City G's Young Miami is getting exposed for transporting drugs for Diddy. And then she tried to snitch on him to Homeland Security to save herself. Now, she being subpoenaed by the feds to testify against Diddy in an up-and-coming grand jury hearing. It's been a messy few months for Diddy. And even though Young Miami tried to stay out of it, she just got dragged back into the mix because she was allegedly acting bad with Diddy. Now, new court filings allege that Miami used to transport drugs for Diddy's use, and she partied with them while using them, but needless to say, she's in a whole lot of trouble with the feds. But she has no intentions of going down with Diddy. She's reportedly striking a deal to snitch on him. Keep herself out of it now. If y'all thought that Young Miami was Diddy's ride or die, think again. She knows where all the bodies are buried and has no problem helping the feds dig up the truth about Diddy. Why the situation is a mess, but let's break this city girl act bad drama down.
We have learned from 2 sources that potential witnesses have been contacted and notified by federal investigators that they may be called to testify in front of a grand.
Y'all, we all need to just take a moment to exhale, because every other second, it's some more drama going down in Hollywood. It's wild that everybody involved in this Diddy situation is ready to spill the tea and point some fingers. Just a few months ago, Diddy and Young Miami were living the high life together, swearing up and down that they were each other's ride or die and shorty wops, and promising to stick by each other no matter what. But all that loyalty seemed to vanish into an air when Diddy got sued last year by Cassie, his ex-girlfriend and former bad boy artist. She filed the mother of all lawsuits, and she laid out in detail the abuse she endured during the relationship, saying Diddy would have often gotten physical, leaving her with bruises and emotional scars. She also mentioned that nobody in his inner circle dared to stand up for her or speak out because they were all too scared of him and feared the consequences if they crossed him. She also claimed that Diddy used to pimp her out to male escorts. He made her H and left Cassie tell that he forced her to take drugs and alcohol, then make her be intimate with these escorts while he recorded everything. But if that wasn't horrifying enough, he would later force her to watch these recordings and use them to blackmail her whenever she tried to stand up for herself or leave him. Now, Cassie finally managed to leave in a fateful day in 2018, though her life was a wreck for a while after that. But she's pulled through, got married, had kids, and built a beautiful family. And then last year, she got the courage to expose Diddy in a lawsuit, and it sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Now, Diddy wasn't the only one catching the heat. Young Miami faced some serious backlash for even being involved with him. People questioned why she was with someone accused of such terrible things. It really hurt her reputation. At first, fans were wondering if Young Miami was being hurt, but then they were able to dig out an old tweet from her that suggested that she was more involved in Diddy shenanigans than we knew about. In the tweet, she made some bad comments about Diddy's other side piece, Gina Hune, that kind of sounded like she was threatening Gina, that she would make Diddy force Gina into a freak-off. She said, "If I wanted you to eat my P. Diddy, we would have had you on your knees, you. The eater, Gina. You've been down bad ever since I came into the picture. You've been crying for a baby for 10 years. You've been around as a bee that eat P and D. When you feel like you a eater, you're the same bee that was crying on Tasha K. Cause you wanted a baby, poor Sushi." This was absolutely vile now that we know about Diddy and the stuff that he's into. And she was threatening Gina with some type of freak-off, but it definitely got her drag fulfilled. And she started crashing alongside Diddy. But what made things worse about this is that Gina once did sit down with Tasha K to talk about how Diddy allegedly hurt her and put his hands on her when they were together.
I mean, in the beginning, like the first 3.5 years, he was, like the first 4 months, he was really nice. But then after that, he started being an asshole.
So when you say mean, describe it.
He was like always belittling me and always like, he was like mentally, emotionally, and physically me. He took one of my heels and tried to throw it at me, and then he like mushed my face and like really hard and made my nose bleed.
You mind telling me what happened with that pregnancy?
I told him, and he was like, "You're gonna get a right?" And then I was like, I don't know. I don't know yet. And then he offered me $50,000 to get rid of it, but I turned it down because I just loved him, and And I was like trying to prove that I wasn't the girl that
Was
wanted
with
him for money.
Okay.
I just care about him. And I just wanted him to be nice to me. That's it. I was like,
Yeah, so when all this came out, this was a very bad look for young Miami. But it didn't really prove anything concrete. But fans were definitely speculating about her involvement with Diddy. But there wasn't any full evidence to suggest that she forced other women into anything if she participated in any of Diddy's activities and making her own woman choices. However, suspicions grew that she knew more about Diddy's alleged actions than she let on, especially when she started distancing herself from him. This happened before the other 4 lawsuits against Diddy emerged, making people wonder if there were more secrets yet to be revealed. Things got even messier when Diddy was hit with 3 more lawsuits from women accusing him of sexual assault. And the situation got uglier for Diddy, and his reputation took a serious hit. It was at this point young Miami made a significant effort and smart decision to show that she was no longer associated with Diddy and was moving on. Got to move on from whatever they had between them. She announced that she was launching a new era called Yams, so she deleted all her pictures of Diddy from her social media and completely stopped mentioning him online. But it wasn't just about social media. No, sources claimed that she distanced herself from Diddy because he had stopped giving her money every month and she left him quicker than he could have ever imagined. According to a source, Diddy is no longer paying young Miami's bills. The friend told us that Diddy had been paying for private flights, shopping frees, and rent for a luxury Miami penthouse. Now, Diddy has cut those expenses. Did he still buy young Miami a custom Christmas gift? But he's not as generous as he once was, the source continued. Diddy is not in a good place mentally either. He can really use someone like Kisha in his life. She really does care about him, not just his money, but that money is important. Yes, so he has to start paying again if he wants our companionship. So with Diddy no longer bankrolling young Miami, and his reputation is in shambles, Miami bailed to avoid going down with him. She probably thought distancing herself would make people forget how close they were in her Go Poppy signs. But it was way too late for that. Now Homeland Security is involved in digging deep, and she's been exposed for allegedly moving drugs for Diddy. Remember the producer Lil Rod who sued Diddy in February? Initially, his lawsuit only mentioned Miami and passing, talking about her presence at the parties, but nothing too concerning. However, his updated lawsuit paints a different picture. Miami had been claiming that Diddy gave her $500,000 a month because he liked her, and she was just good company. But according to the lawsuit, the story is not holding up. It claims that she was actually working as Diddy's SAR. The court document said young Miami Jade and Daphne Joy were paid monthly fee work as Mr. Combs is said workers and received payment via wire transfer from Robin Greenhill, which outlined defendants' ongoing criminal operation. Well, this isn't that shocking anymore, knowing what we know about Diddy and Miami's relationship. But there really was the claim that Miami allegedly used to move drugs for Diddy, not young Miami being a mule, according to the court documents. Plaintiff and the Combs Rico enterprise were rehearsing for something in the Water Festival in Virginia. The court filing reads, Plaintiff Jones personally witnessed Mr. Combs do a few lines of coke in his dressing room. Defendant Sean Combs wanted 2G, but Brendan forgot it, so defendant Christina Quorum called young Miami, who then brought it on a private jet from Miami. Y'all, this is real bad, like a real bad look for her. This is implicating her doing a full crime. Talk about acting bad. And we're not talking just about fans speculating anymore. This is some serious federal stuff. And you can bet young Miami is not trying to go down with Diddy. And according to an anonymous source, she knows Diddy can't save her now, and she's volunteering to snitch on Diddy to the feds in exchange for walking free. She doesn't want to end up behind bars, which would pretty much be guaranteed if she doesn't cooperate. She allegedly knows where all the bodies are buried, and where all the videos are hidden, and has information about more alleged crimes that could put Diddy away for a long time. But if you're wondering why she might feel comfortable betraying him, well, it's a dog-eat-dog world. I mean, did he allegedly fled with Homeland Security, resting his sons? So Miami knows better than to depend on him for protection. This whole situation is crazy, and it just goes to show how wild Hollywood is, and how you should never believe what you see on the ground. What the grannies say, believe half of what you see, and none of what you heard. Half of these people are just faking it, or doing some really shady stuff to afford what they're flaunting on social media. But y'all, according to CNN, there are plans being put in place for a grand jury to indict Diddy based on the accusations, lawsuits that he has faced in the last couple of months.